Jail for a mother who allegedly sold her 2-year-old son to a Sangoma for 75,000 rand. The final report in a crucial step in uncovering the truth behind the fatal George building collapse. And more than 1 million pilgrims suffer searing heat in Mecca as Hajj gets underway. Hello, I'm Jane Dutton.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent.
Police are investigating a case of murder following a grim discovery of a mutilated teenage girl's body in an open veld in Roodepoort, west of Johannesburg. The family of slain teenage girl Likona Fossa say members of the community reported to have last seen her walking with a group of friends around the community of Durban Deep in Roodepoort, west of Johannesburg, before she vanished. The family says they reported a missing persons case when Fossa did not come back home later on Saturday afternoon. A day later, a passerby discovered her body in an open veld, mutilated. Speaking on behalf of the family, her uncle, Mtobeli Fossa, says she was found naked from the waist down with cuts on both her lower and upper body. He added that after the community realized it was his niece who'd been found, 2 boys approached the family claiming to be able to identify the group of friends she was last seen with before her death.
Police have gone out to search for a group of friends she was last seen with the help of 2 boys. We are still waiting to hear what happened. They have not gotten back to us yet. We want to know from our friends what really happened and when did they separate from each other.
Startling evidence has emerged in the case against the alleged Usindiso building arsonist.
A fire expert who investigated the causes of the Usindiso building fire took the stand at the Palm Ridge Magistrates Court today. Now, he was roped in by the state to try and prove that Sthembiso Mdlalose was allegedly behind the fire that killed 76 people in Johannesburg CBD. Now, the fire expert has told the court that there were no traces of petrol or any flammable liquid on the scene of the fire. Now, I'll take you back to Sthembiso Mdlalose's own confession, in which he admits that he used petrol to start the fire that killed 76 people at the Usindiso building. Now, 2 different fire experts have said that there were no traces of petrol or any other form of flammable liquid at the Usindiso building. So it begs the question, how exactly did the fire start? I think that's something that we're going to be keeping a close eye on as the trial continues. For Eyewitness News, I'm Alpha Ramushwana.
A mother who allegedly sold her 2-year-old son to a Sangoma for 75,000 rand will remain behind bars. Kinelwe Shalaba appeared in the Vanderbijl Park Magistrates Court today alongside Sebokwanya Kwanyana, the man who allegedly bought her child. The case has been postponed to Thursday to allow for the second accused to apply for legal representation. Both accused face charges of human trafficking and premeditated murder.
Your Worship, in this present state is opposed to the release of accused number 2. Worship may remand the matter to the 5th of June as per the arrangement with Mr. Shitaka for legal aid application of the accused.
The Western Cape High Court has found its former Judge President, John Hlophe, to be neither fit nor proper to serve on the Judicial Service Commission. It set aside a decision by the National Assembly last July to endorse the recommendation of the Umkhonto weSizwe Party to have him serve as one of its 6 parliamentarians. The matter was heard in February by a full bench of judges from outside the division after the court previously granted an interdict in favour of the Democratic Alliance, Freedom Under Law and Corruption Watch, preventing Hlophe from participating in the work of the commission pending this matter. The court says while it does not dispute arguments made by the MK party that Hlophe is highly qualified, his removal from the bench on charges of gross misconduct is the issue. Action SA is proposing a raft of proposed amendments to the Constitution aimed at stemming the country's immigration problems. Among these are changes to the Bill of Rights on provisions relating to housing, healthcare and education. The party's Athol Trollop says more than 70% of patient files at Johannesburg clinics belong to foreign nationals.
This is an area of exploitation that has a massive impact on our economy and our municipalities' ability to deliver the services required by people living in this country.
The deadline for submissions to Parliament's Constitutional Review Committee closed on Saturday, with it having already received more than 200 submissions by late last month. The inquest into the killings of the Cradock 4 has been happening in the Gqeberha High Court in the Eastern Cape this morning. The proceedings are to establish the circumstances surrounding the murders of anti-apartheid activists Matthew Goniwe, Fort Galata, Sparrow Mkonto, and Sicelo Mhlauli. The four were detained and then murdered by the apartheid security branch in 1985.
Justice for the families of the Cradock Four has been delayed for 40 years and today threatened to be no different. As proceedings started, the court was told that the National Defence Force has not approved payment for the legal fees of former General Hlophe van der Westhuizen, meaning his lawyer, although present in court, cannot represent him. The legal fees in this matter, where former police are suspects, are paid for by government. Lawyer for Matthew Goniwe's family, Tembeka Ngcukaitobi, argued that the commission must proceed and his witnesses be allowed to give evidence implicating Van der Westhuizen. But after his lawyer opposed, Judge Tami Beshe handed down a ruling. This means the witnesses that will be called cannot implicate Van der Westhuizen until government agrees to pay his legal fees. Witnesses are also allowed to testify based on publicly available documents. Khomzo Modise, Eyewitness News, at the Gqeberha High Court.
Public Works and Infrastructure Minister Dean McPherson says he has received the final report from the Council for the Built Environment into the tragic building collapse in George more than a year ago. 34 construction workers died when a 5-story building collapsed, burying them under 6,000 tons of rubble on the 6th of May last year. 62 workers were on site at the time. 28 of them were pulled out from beneath the rubble alive. The report received by the minister investigated the conduct of the engineers on site and what action should have been taken against them. McPherson says the report marks a critical step in uncovering the truth behind this tragedy and to ensure that those responsible are held accountable.
I will now study that report to develop a pathway forward to ensure that a tragedy such as this never happens again. As I've committed to previously, after studying this report, I will firstly return to George to present the findings to the families affected by this tragedy. They deserve to hear directly from me and not through the media about what went wrong and how we can rectify it.
Cape Town's running fraternity has been hit hard by the death of a runner during the 2025 Slave Route Challenge yesterday. At about 4 kilometers in, a tree unexpectedly fell along the race route in the company's garden, striking a female runner. Emergency services responded quickly and transported the woman to hospital, where she died. Race participant Kim Weingaard ran past the tree seconds before it toppled over and crashed to the ground.
Running down, I was probably about 50 meters, if not less, away from the incident. And I heard the sound, which I initially thought was a stampede. And as I turned around, I just saw this tree falling over. And people then started shouting, and some ran back, some ran away.
We extend our heartfelt condolences to her family, friends, and loved ones. We are holding them in our thoughts and offering our full support. All safety protocols were observed in collaboration with the City of Cape Town and emergency services. This was an unforeseeable tragedy, and we are working with authorities to understand what happened. As a community, we mourn this devastating loss.
More than 1 million Muslim pilgrims have poured into the holy city of Mecca ahead of the annual Hajj. Authorities are promising a safer pilgrimage and a massive crackdown on illegal visitors, and have beefed up heat mitigation measures, hoping to avoid a repeat of last year's Hajj, which saw 1,301 pilgrims die as temperatures reached 51.8 degrees Celsius. Temperatures were forecast to exceed 40 degrees Celsius this week as one of the world's largest annual religious gatherings starts on Wednesday. The Hajj, one of the 5 pillars of Islam, must be performed at least once by all Muslims with the means. That's it from us. Thanks for watching.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent.